Don't worry, I am here for your magic needs.
Yeah, let me just move up a little bit, okay.
This has been described as the
greatest card trick ever
by an 80-year-old gentleman at a restaurant. And you know when an old mysterious type figure tells you something, it's true. But really, I had to personally do a double take on this card trick just because of how good it is. So I'm telling you right now, it's not gonna be super easy to catch, and you're gonna get some insane reactions. Alright, yo, so check this out for those of you who are curious. These are the product red playing cards by Theory 11. They're a nice solid red playing card, so I like to keep things simple from time to time. We're gonna start off this trick by giving the deck a bit of a shuffle, just like this. Maybe one more should be fine, and that should be good. Now, this trick is gonna be slightly different than what you're used to seeing. Okay, what's gonna happen in this trick is I'm gonna flip to the side first. I'm gonna stop right around here, all right? Now, you can have either this card or you can have the card down here. All right, you want this card? All right, watch. We'll take this card, leave it here. But now, instead of doing the usual type of stuff where you get to see the card and do all that, you know, leave it somewhere on the deck, do all that kind of stuff, we're gonna leave this card here and we're gonna try to guess what your card is. It's gonna be pretty cool. So let's just say I'm gonna go over here and I'm gonna use cards to indicate to me what your card is. So this card right over here, this tells me, this King of Spades, this card tells me right here that your card was not the King of Spades, right? I guess that's something. This is a very long card trick, so you're gonna have to bear with me, all right? Here's what we're gonna do now. So we know your card is not the King of Spades. We have just 50 more cards to go. I'm also gonna say your card is not the King of Hearts, so I'll take this card, leave it right over here. So your card's not the King of Spades, it's not the King of Hearts. It could be something else. What could it possibly be? Well, your card is also not the King of Clubs, right? So we also know your card is not the King of Clubs. That means the remaining card must be your card, the King of Aces. Well, actually, you know, I obviously knew that was gonna happen because all the cards that I eliminated were also aces. That's pretty awesome. What up, crew? It is Magic Monday, and this is your place to learn magic, master your performance, and captivate audiences. The card trick that I'm sharing with you today is from the Royal Road to Card Magic, and the idea was originally thought out by Di Vernon himself. Absolute legend. Now, there are a couple of sleights that are used together for this effect, but that just makes the trick so much more fun to do. Now, before we dive right into the tutorial, make sure you smash that like button, hit subscribe, grab your favorite deck of playing cards, and now, let's do it. Alright, yo, here we are, my second favorite part of the entire video, the tutorial right after the performance. So, I guess a couple of things. You can probably guess at this point that this card trick does require a little bit of a setup, nothing too insane. And it's more of an intermediate level card trick. Now, I don't want that to deter you from learning this trick, because getting away with sleights right under people's noses is so much fun, and it's worth everything. So, I guess getting started, the setup you will require is not this card. You will need 4 kings and the 4 aces. You're going to set it up like this. Any ace, any king, any ace, any king, any ace, and the 2 kings. So again, any 2 kings. So again, ace, ace, king, ace, king, ace, king, king. That's going to be the setup on top of the deck, and we're going to leave that right over here. So when you're starting to do this effect, you first, of course, take the cards right out of the tuck case, and you tell the spectator you're going to give the deck a bit of a shuffle. Now, as you're shuffling this, you do a controlled overhand shuffle, where you're going to toss over, I would say, at least 8 cards, otherwise that would mess up the entire trick, but I usually toss over maybe between 10 to 15, toss over at least 8 cards, in jog, the top card like this, a slight in jog, and overhand shuffle the rest of the cards on top of this card. Once that's done, you'll see a bit of a break here. All right, you'll see this, I guess, card out jogged. You're going to push down and forward. So now you're going to create a break between the rest of the cards and your original top portion. Now you're going to grab with your thumb here, keep maintaining that break, toss over cards until you get back to the break, and as soon as you get to this break here, toss the rest of the cards over. That's going to maintain your stack right on top of the deck. It's pretty neat how it works, and it's pretty awesome. If you're not super comfortable doing that, you can always give the deck a couple of false cuts, and I have some videos on those that you can go ahead and check out. So now you've given the deck a false shuffle. You're going to explain to the spectator that this card trick is a little bit different than what they're used to seeing. And what's going to actually happen is once they select a card, then that card is just going to be placed on the table and no one's going to see it until the end. So as you're explaining all this, you want to grab a thumb break underneath this top card here. Grab a thumb break underneath this top card and you're gonna undercut about half the packet onto this card like this. So once you undercut that packet, you're gonna transfer it over from a thumb break to a pinky break, right? So your pinky is holding on to these cards. And now you're gonna do a riffle force. What that looks like is, you're gonna riffle through the side of the deck. There are a lot of concepts I'm gonna cover here, so just bear with me. You're gonna riffle through the side of the deck. One thing you wanna kind of keep in mind is you almost see like a natural split here, which you may have seen in my performance. It's hard to cover when the angle is right here, but if the angle is face down like this and your spectator is seeing the deck this way, no one's gonna really catch this this split in the deck right here. So we're gonna start now. Riffle through the side of the deck. Ask the spectator when to stop. Wherever they say stop, you're gonna grab this break back here with your thumb. Grab the break, push forward, right? So you're gonna lift up, push forward, and lift to the side. So one more time at full speed, you have the break here. It's gonna be like this. So regardless of where they stop, you wanna try to slow down towards the center. So it's almost like forcing them to go towards the center. But you're gonna go like this, split out here. And now in my performance, I just took this card. But you can ask the spectator if they wanna take this top card here, or if they want to take the card on the bottom side of this packet. Whatever you want to do, it's completely up to you. There is one difference that's going to happen though. If they take this card, that's completely fine. You close up and grab that break there. If they do not take this card and they want this card instead, again, you don't show them. You take it out, put it face down on the table, and now you're just going to grab a pinky break underneath this top card here. You can do a pinky count to get that break. You can push off this card, pull back, and put that there. But whatever you're doing, you want somewhat of a misdirection, right? So as you're maybe putting this card here, you can ask them to take this card out and put it down like this. And as this is happening, you grab your pinky break however you want to do that. So that's done. Close the deck right back up. And now you're going to tell the spectator, we're going to use other cards to help us find or indicate what this selected card is. So now keep in mind now, you have a pinky break underneath one of the aces. So you're going to keep on going like this. And as soon as you get to your pinky break, right? As soon as you get to your pinky break, that's over here, the card right there, you're gonna stop and have this arranged in your hand like this. Keep in mind now, this is the ace, and this card right here is the king. So you flip this card over. You're gonna flip this card over using this packet. You're gonna flip this card over and show the spectator, we know your card is not the king of clubs. Or you can say, this card tells me that your card is not the king of clubs. You can use it as kind of a joke. But this card is not the king of clubs. And now as you're turning this card face down, you're gonna actually grab this one card here, right? And this one card is the ace. And this change is just so phenomenal. The name of the change completely slipped my mind, but it's so phenomenal how it works. But it's pretty much gonna happen is you flip this card over, say this tells me your card is not the king of clubs, and you're going to use this packet now to turn this card back face down. As you're turning it face down, you're going to grab this card here that I was talking about, and you want a loose grip on that card. I have maybe 2 fingers gripping onto that card here. So as this card turns over like this, you're going to grab this card here like that. And now it seems very obvious when I'm doing it without any kind of cover, but if I'm doing this, oh, this is obviously, not your card. And you turn it face up and you grab that card quickly, I guarantee you, no one's gonna notice it unless they know exactly what to look for. So now you put that card face down here, right? So that card's face down on the table, and keep in mind that is one of the aces. At this point, as you're squaring up the deck, you wanna push off 3 cards from the bottom packet onto all these underneath the top packet here. Square everything up, get a pinky break underneath those 3 cards you just pushed over, and then give the deck a cut at that point. From here, you're going to do a double lift. So there are multiple ways you can do a double lift. I like to do a pinky count, 1, 2, and then do a double lift to show there's another king. This tells me your card is not the king of hearts. I turn the card back face down and put that down on the table, and of course that's the next ace. If you're not comfortable doing that kind of if you're not comfortable doing that kind of double lift, what you can do is you can use your thumb here, count off 2 cards, 1, 2, show it off this way. Now, a lot of people may think that's super obvious, but I guarantee you any double lift that I've ever seen to me seems very obvious, and I'm not trying to be arrogant by saying that, but it's just a magician knows when there is a double lift. It's just what it is. Anyone that's been doing card magic for maybe even a year or 2 can usually spot a double lift like half a mile away. So whatever kind of double lift you want to use, please go for it. You know, no one's going to judge you on what kind of double lift you're using. So whatever kind of double lift you want to use, like I said, put that card down, and now you have this king still maintained on top. Now the last one, and this is a lot of fun, is you want to somehow have the spectator stop here on the bottom. Now you can either do some kind of force, you can do some kind of, I don't know, anything you want to do. I just like to do a false cut like this. And what I'm actually doing for this false cut is I swing cut about a third of the deck over to my non-dominant hand, swing cut about half the remaining deck over to my non-dominant hand, catch a pinky break under this packet, put this original bottom packet down, this goes here, and that goes there. Up to speed, it looks extremely believable. I have no idea how, but it just looks extremely believable. And then you show the spectator the bottom card. You say, wait, this tells me your card is not the king of spades. So now you can turn this face down, and as you're turning it face down, you're going to do the bottom glide, right? There's so many moves going on, a lot of stuff happening, so definitely practice each one of these moves. You're now going to do the bottom glide. So as you turn this deck face down, my personal preference on the bottom glide is I'm holding the deck here in almost a biddle grip, but a bit of a deeper biddle grip. And what I'm really doing is I'm pinching down on this card, sliding it over to the side like this, and I'm grabbing the card that's technically right above it. The normal method on doing the bottom glide is holding the deck like this sideways. You have your 3 fingers on the long end of this deck, thumb on the bottom, and you're going to use these 3 fingers to kind of slide this card down, and then you can grab this card that way, right? So whatever method you prefer using, you just do what's most natural to you. So again, you show that card, slide it over, and then put the card right above it, face down on the table. And now, ideally you want to lose this card in the deck in case someone picks it up, so I just give the deck a couple of cuts and put it down on the table next to it, or somewhere right here. And this is it. This is the best part right here, is doing the reveal. If you remember what these kings are, that makes the reveal even better. But you can tell the spectator, because now you can use process of elimination to say your card was the king of, and then you can say, well, hold on. Personally, what I like to do is I like to lift the card, look at it myself first, and I'm like, wait, hold on, that's not right. And then I put it down showing the ace. And then at this point, they're like, oh, hoo ha, he ha, that's, you got it wrong. And that's probably the most fun part of this entire trick, is proving them that actually, hold on, even though you did mess up, you did it correctly. And that's when you slowly reveal that, actually, if you remember, I eliminated all the other aces. And then you slowly reveal all the aces, their mind is blown, and they go home dead. Seriously, such a beautiful trick. I honestly don't think my hands do it justice, but I'm going to be practicing this one more and adding it to my repertoire. Hope you enjoyed that effect. For another classical diverting card trick, click right over here. This trick is phenomenal. As always, thanks so much for spending your time with me. Love you guys. Have a great day ahead, and I'll see you in the next video. Deck drop.